Hey guys, Taro here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Faymonville approach. Playing today, spawning in the south where you have VonIvan. There's OKW straight away locking in Overwatch. Next off against him in the north we have Markov as the US forces, who has heavy cavalry, airborne and mechanized. So VonIvan doesn't really need any introduction about Markov, might not be familiar with. Has a couple of factions around rank 30, US forces is around rank 50. And VonIvan getting aggressive onto the fuel, but facing off against double rifleman. He's trying to push with the Kubel, but it wasn't very successful. He's trying to push more, he's trying to stall for these opportunities to arrive, but ultimately I don't think that was very successful. Cool, very low now. Meanwhile, the re-echelon's been capping up the north with no issues. He's actually bringing the re-echelons into the middle, which is a bad idea because, you know, the fuel isn't connected at the moment, so no real point going for the cutoff. Better to try cap up here in the north, get control of your munitions maybe. Instead, okay, so he's locked in heavy cavalry. So he's going to put some sandbags down. I think one thing that we've really seen during GCS2 and the aftermath is just a lot more sandbag usage. So VonIvan not repairing this up, going to try to use it on the flanks to cap. VonIvan still hasn't had a connected fuel. Uh-oh. So opponent's had to reload there. And Rifleman's going to get away because of it. Well, she's trying to cap right on the edge of the circle, but they lose the model that was inside the circle, and VonIvan hasn't noticed. Hasn't restarted the cap. That's a lot of lost time. He probably could have captured that by now if he'd noticed. Has to get out of there. Red Echelon's very strong against the Kubel. Notices now got back into munitions point. And Markov actually going for a mortar team now. This is a bit of a surprise. Like, there aren't many buildings on this map, so I feel like the mortar's not that useful. Unless your opponent's got a lot of team weapons, which is also not the case. So, a little bit unsure about that build decision. Don't think it's terribly strong. Echelon did quite a lot of damage there. VonIvan trying to fight for the cutoff here. Looks like he's losing, but this squad coming in now could turn things around. A lot of rifles super low. No good results. VonIvan still not repairing up that Kubel. Just using it to cap. The squad ends up getting forced away after doing quite a lot of damage, though, picking off a lot of those low health models. Maybe Von will repair this now, I hope so. Kubel is actually, you know, pretty good against Riflemen in the early game. So it's a bit of a missed opportunity not to have this in combat early.
Prepare for combat.
He's got his truck Just about has enough resources to build it. He has gone for 4 Volksgrenadiers on top of the Kubel, so that's why he's a little bit strapped for manpower right now. Lieutenant Tech for Markov. And he's actually quite close to being able to afford a half track. Oh, not close enough for AT grenade. Kubel once again requiring repairs. Now it's going to be crawling around the battlefield as well. Japanese taking a bit of a risk trying to charge in here. End up getting forced away. The squad should maybe come up to the edge of the circle as well so they can contribute in the fight. I think the key takeaway here is that VonIvan has had pretty bad fuel control of this fuel so far. Like he's had it captured for quite a long time, but he hasn't had it connected for that long. Oh, late retreat, and he loses it to the mortar shell. Very careless mistake. Actually going for an MG34 here, which is a bit of a surprise. I mean, there's already on mortar on the field, and it's going to mean he's not going to have the manpower to build a looks once he gets a little bit more fuel. .50 cal though for Markov, and he's actually not getting a vehicle. Makes me think he's probably going to go for the 2 officer stall for the Pershing. VonIvan's machine gun immediately gets flanked, has to retreat. He's off to a rough start here. Building a Goliath, maybe he's hoping a squad wipe will get him back in the game. Coming out this left hand side. Oh, I think he might have spotted it. Trying to retreat the machine gun. He gets out of there. Mortar also gets out of there, just out of range, but he's going for the lieutenant now. He's turning around. Can he get it? Oh, so close. But no cigar.
A capture point is being overrun.
All 3 of those units so close to being in the death radius, but didn't quite happen for Von there. So that's a good chunk of his munitions down the drain. Oh, and now he's camped in front of this 50 cal. Good reaction times this time though, gets out of there. Japanese charge in. And riflemen behind the sandbags holding their ground well here. Gets the suppression finally now, but it's too late. Japanese already taken the damage. Charging in with 2 squads. No grenades though, so a machine gun I think could end up winning this. Depends if they come out of suppression now before the machine gun starts firing. The machine gun has to reload. They come out of suppression and the machine gun goes down. So he needs an incendiary grenade right here. Gets coming in a little bit late. It's still going to do some good damage. He's trying to stop this from being stolen. And he does. Close call there for VonIvan. Now he's got the looks. Now he's putting some pressure on. Whoa, AA half track from Markov. Super late AA half track. Shockingly late, in fact. Oh, and the 50 cal goes down there in the north. Now the Looks heading over to fight the A half track. Looks has a slight edge here, but An AT grenade could turn this around. Hey, half-track needs to be set up, and there it goes. VonIvan just chucked it in there and loses it. Don't underestimate the A half-track in the looks battle. The key though is for your A half-track to be set up, it has to be using the auto cannon. You can't be running it around, because then only the machine guns will be firing and you won't be doing much damage at all. VonIvan did manage to salvage a little bit, trying to steal that 50 cal away, which is pretty effective against the A half-track.
You ready to roll out?
Machine gun taking forever to set up. Try and focus down. Stern Pioneers on retreat. Just get away. VonIvan still has a decent amount of map control, despite being a little bit under-strengthed. It's not a word, is it? Under-strength in his army. Under-strength, well. Understaffed. That would maybe be better word to use there. Okay, weapons racks unlocked from Markov. Got some bars now. It's going to make life a lot harder for the infantry. VonIvan going for another Goliath.
Squad numbers back to normal.
Interesting, he's actually queued it up on the mechanized truck. Can build it from the HQ, so delayed his Goliath a little bit, queuing up behind the Puma. Now Puma versus a half-track. Oh, mutually assured destruction. Wow. So it looks like VonIvan was kind of trying to circle around to get, you know, to the front of the vehicle, out of the arc of the cannon. But because he exposed the Puma's rear armor, a lot more of those autocannon shots penetrated, and they actually just both die simultaneously. Oh man, I didn't see what happened with that Goliath. Perhaps a accident? I don't know why he triggered it there. Maybe it was a misclick. Either way, VonIvan in trouble here against Markov. I suppose at the very least he traded. And now all these riflemen with bars versus the unupgraded Volksgrenadiers. It's a lot of trouble. Good from VonIvan though, setting up a 2v1 here.
Heavy machine gun team, ready for orders.
Late retreat there by Markov, just kind of throwing away units, more models. 50 cal coming up from Markov again. And yeah, look at them getting cut down. Get 3 bar rifles. Super strong. Oh, and VonIvan now the 50 cal in trouble. Has to retreat. Doesn't manage to capture this fuel, but at the very least neutralized it. Toss out an incendiary grenade to win the engagement. I'm just trying to buy time for the mortar to land some shells, but didn't end up happening in time. Re-echelons though end up winning the engagement. Fortunately, he's took a lot of damage as they cross the road. Now they're going to pressure on the fuel. 2-man stern pioneers. I don't think they'll be able to beat these re-echelons. It'll be close. Kind of depends on how early the re-echelons see them, I think. How much damage they can get done as the stern pioneers are closing in. VonIvan's got Australia's heading up that way. Machine gun in the building though, it looks like it's about to get bombed out by this mortar team. Oh, and this could be a wipe. Bit of body blocking. And there it goes. Just before it rounded the corner. Out comes another looks for Von. Oh, and this could also go down. Treacherous retreat path. Not quite. Goliath. Heading out. Oh, he retreated both these squads. Maybe he's worried about the Goliath, I'm not sure. That has given Von a bit of breathing room to try and sneak this into a position to ambush a squad. Oh, and this could be a wipe. Looks heading up. Clean out this rifle. Oh, re-echelon squad. Markov, on the other hand, has techs. And he's getting out a Sherman.
Lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
It's been a very aggressive and high casualty game, so the command point clock for both players is rocketed around. VonIvan going after the ambulance now. Jumps the medics out. It's resigned to its fate. So yes, Goliath is in a decent ambushing position here.
Sherman ready.
But Sherman's in the field. This looks is going to be in trouble. VonIvan actually building another machine gun right now. Really needs anti-tank. Sherman could be GG. Von does have enough fuel for a Puma. Doesn't have the manpower now though. Oh, and Rifleman get in range for an AT grenade. That is dead. No chance of escape now. Oh my god! Now the false unities go down. Oh boy. Bringing the medics out to do some capping. Sherman out here running amok.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Just ripping through everything. Still on the armor piercing round. Switching over to my explosive. Goliath goes off.
Unit being wiped out.
Got a bar on the ground now. Oh! HE rounds come into effect. Boomer in production for VonIvan. Trying to use armor piercing rounds. Sherman a little bit too heavily armored for that. But there is a mine right here. The Sherman runs over the mine, the Puma comes out. VonIvan can still turn this one around. Especially if he manages to steal these team weapons. Here comes the Puma. Sherman's red armor. Sherman's still shooting at the infantry. And he gets it. Sherman goes down.
We just lost a medium tank.
Markov has enough resources for another Sherman. Will he get it? He's got a lot of reinforcing to do. Has gone for a fresh ambulance. That's prime target for the Puma. VonIvan senses it. Hits the tractor instead. Got real hard on for that tractor. Going for another looks now. Sherman is in production for Markov. The good thing about the Sherman is you can leave it on HE rounds against the Puma. Doesn't have that much armor. Which is why it's an armored car rather than a light tank. Oh my god, how did he get an AT grenade on that? Looked like he's miles off.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready. We're taking lead over here. We're losing a capture point. We're pinned down.
And then a Goliath following that up. Sherman coming in, going after the Puma. One hits. And there goes the Puma. Looks doing some risky maneuvering here. He switches sides right in front of the Sherman. Maybe he's trying to bait him into this Goliath. Doesn't happen, it gets spotted and he backs away. Goliath goes off. That could have actually worked. Might have been able to kill the Sherman with that Goliath, but it didn't quite happen. Oh, now the Stern Pioneer's likely to go down. Looks around the side. See, he loses his stolen machine gun there. Not sure what he's doing. VonIvan going for a Raketin now. He's not a quitter, but he's in big trouble. Oh, what was he doing? Looked like he was running that squad forward for a Faust, but he ends up losing it. It was a high-risk play running it forward for a Faust. Would have slowed the Sherman down for quite a long time, but probably like a 30% chance of it actually being successful. Pretty much guaranteed loss of the squad as well. Even if you do get the Faust and you'll lose the squad on retreat.
We've dropped to 200 points.
If the Sherman was on, you know, piercing rounds and didn't have the machine gun upgrade, maybe then it would have been worthwhile, but anyway. No repair Pioneer upgrade for VonIvan, so just to send the looks out on low health. Whoa! Where's that bad boy going? Oh, into the lake? Oh, it doesn't even splash! I feel ripped off.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Where's the realism, you know? Okay, so straight away Raketin gets forced off and decrewed right outside the base. MG about to get flanked here, but second MG covering that approach. However, Lieutenant running straight in the front. Ends up getting the D crew. VonIvan building another Puma. Doesn't have any infantry now to even recrew as we're kidding with. Markov steals back. That's still an MG34, but it's traded hands a few times. Sherman going in after the looks. Oh, and gets a good long range shot. Pretty high chance of that missing at that range, but it connects. This Sherman's had pretty good accuracy so far. Connects with the Puma as well. Here comes some bazookas. And away goes Puma. MG goes down on retreat now. It's going to steal that as well. And VonIvan throws in the towel. Well, a pretty chaotic game. VonIvan getting off to a really rough start. This Goliath just didn't work from this game. And that could happen, you know. They're a high risk, high reward unit. If they don't connect with a unit and they don't get the wipes, then you're without unit upgrades and you can really struggle. VonIvan though playing it a little bit too aggressively, you know, not really repairing up his vehicles. Potentially costing him, especially when he left that damaged engine Puma in there fighting for ages. Just allowed the Sherman to come up and clean it out. He was still in I think a salvageable position before that happened, but after that, it's too much. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.